Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Kenta from American HAKKO Products. Thank you all for joining us for another episode of Eye on HAKKO. Today will be part 2 of the series I started last time. The first part where I went over the FR850 micro hot air station. Today is part 2. I'll be going over the FX-973. That's the station right here. It's our 3-port rework station. And as always, I'll be going over the features, the benefits, all of the different hand pieces that you can use with the FX-973, and also go into the operation or how to use. Again, there's a lot of information to cover, so let's get started right away, and here we go. All right, so let's get started talking about the FX-973 3-port rework station. But before I jump right into talking about the features, the benefits, all the different hand pieces, the specs, all that good stuff, let me just first mention that the FX-973, it now completes our lineup of what we call the FX-970 series. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the FX-971, the FX-972, and now with this release, it completes it. It's the FX-973. It'll complete the FX-970 series. And with the introduction of the FX-973, there's gonna be the discontinuation of our old models, which is our FX-951, the FM203, and the FM206, okay? So the old station should be showing up on the left-hand side of the screen, and the new generation station should be showing up on the right-hand side of your screen. So out with the old, in with the new. All right, so on the FX-973, let's start out talking about some of the specs, features and benefits, all the hand pieces, all that good stuff. So to start off with the FX-973, like I said, it's a 3-port rework station. So think of it like a FX-972, but with the desoldering capability added on to the FX-972. The FX-972 was giving out 200 watts of power. The FX-973 is double that. It is now delivering 400 watts of power with the addition of the desoldering capability. So in total, you can use up to 10 different hand pieces that you can use on the FX-973. I'll go over each and every one of those. But again, just think of it as all of the hand pieces that you can use on the FX-972, plus 2 more hand pieces, which are a couple of desoldering hand pieces that you can choose from and connect and use on the 3-port FX-973, okay? Again, it's a 400 watt rated station. You get all the features like the preset feature, the offset temperature feature, the desoldering, the clogging indicator. Now I mentioned there's 10 different hand pieces that you can use, and I'm gonna go over each and every one of them, all right? So starting off, the FX-9701 and the FX-9702. Those two are our standard soldering irons. They are 95 watts of power, and the 9701 is our standard, and the 9702 is the nitrogen version of our standard soldering iron, okay? So again, the FX-9701 and the FX-9702, which is our nitrogen version, 95 watts of power. And the tip series that you can use on the 9701 and the 9702, they're called the T39 series of tips. Again, T39 series of tips. There's over 60 different tip shapes that you can choose from that we have available. So depending on your application, through hole, surface mount, there's over 60 different tip shapes that you can choose from. You can be used on the FX-9701 or the FX-9702, which is the nitrogen version. Again, 95 watts of power for the standard FX-9701 and 9702 hand pieces. Now, moving along, the FX-9703 and the FX-9704, which are our micro soldering iron hand pieces. The 9703 is the normal, and the 9704 is the nitrogen version of our micro soldering iron, okay? Now the micro soldering iron, the tip series for that, they're called T50, that's T50, T50 series of tips. And in total, there's 8 different tip shapes that you can choose from. And the micro soldering iron puts out 70 watts of power, all right? Next one up on the list is the FX-973, which is our rework tweezer. We have 2 different types of rework tweezers. The 9705 is our standard, or I like to call it heavy duty because the power outing on the FX-9705 is 190 watts of power for the FX-9705 rework tweezer. The tip series for those, they're called T51 series of tips. And in the T51 series, you get 14 different tip shapes that you can choose from in the T51 series, okay? Now the other rework tweezer, it's a micro rework tweezer, and it's called the FX-9706, okay? The FX-9706 is 140 watts of power. Again, it's for micro soldering rework applications. There's a total of 7 different tip shapes that you can choose from. Conical, J shapes, knife shapes, chisel shapes for the T52 series of tips. Now a little note to add on the both tweezers, the 9705 and the 9706, is that you have a couple of different adjustment capabilities that we built into both tweezers. The 9705, you have the height adjustment and the forward adjustment. And on the FX-9706, you have not only the height adjustment, the forward adjustment, but you also get rotation, and you can close in the length of the nozzle. So you have a total of 4 different adjustments that you can make on the 9706, okay? So we covered the 9701, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6. The next couple of ones are our heavy duty irons, and they're called the FX-9707 and the FX-9708. Those 2 irons are our heavy duty irons. They put out 200 watts of power, and the tip series for the new heavy duty irons, they're called T53 series of tips, okay? Now in the T53 series, we have a total of 14 different tip shapes that you can choose from on the heavy duty FX-9707 or the FX-9708, which is the nitrogen version of our heavy duty handpieces, okay? So that's 8 handpieces that I quickly covered. Now the last 2 are our desoldering handpieces, and they are the FR4103, which is the pistol style handpiece, like the one I have sitting in front of me here, and the FR4104, which is our pencil type handpiece. 2 different styles of handpieces. You can use them both on the FX-973. They put out 140 watts of power. And the nozzle series, they're called N61 series nozzles. Again, that's N61 series of nozzles. And in total, there's about 17 different nozzle shapes that you can choose from. Now, those 2 handpieces, the 4103 or the 4104, they've been out. You can use them with our FR410 desoldering station. They're the same exact handpieces that you've been using. A lot of our customers are already familiar with those handpieces. You can take those exact same handpieces and plug them in and use them on the FX-973, all right? So I talked a lot. I went over the different handpieces. Now I want to get into the important stuff, which is going over the station itself, going over the operation and how to use our new FX-973. So let's get into that one. So here I have the FX-973 power button here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that power button on. All right, so now you have a nice large display, right? And now we have 3 different channels. So I have the 3 different handpieces I have plugged in here, and that is where you plug in the desoldering handpiece for the vacuum tube, right? And I have 3 different channels, all right? So for each channel, you have the blue illuminated buttons here. And with those buttons, first of all, you can turn on or off each of the channels, okay? So the way to do that is just press and hold. For example, if I want to turn channel 2 off, just press and hold. and I can turn channel 2, it says off, right? If I want to turn it back on, guess what I have to do? Press and hold that button, and then I can turn back on channel 2. So real easy, that's how you turn on or off each of the 3 channels. And for each channel, the icons here, it'll show you what you have currently connected to each channel. So for example, in channel 1, that's the icon for my desolder tool. So I have a desolder tool connected to channel 1. I have that's a soldering iron icon. I have an iron plugged into channel 2, and I also have an iron connected to channel 3. Now the S and the M that are next to the irons, that means S is for small, M is for medium, and there's another one that says L. L is for large. So S means small for micro iron, M is medium for standard iron, and the L means large for the heavy duty soldering irons. Okay. There's also an icon, separate icon for the tweezer. If you have a tweezer handpiece connected to any one of the channels. So just know there's a soldering iron icon, there's a desoldering icon, and there's also a Rework tweezer icon as well. The next thing that you see on the display, now you see this is the set temperature that you see down here, right? So these are the set temperatures for each of the channels, channel 1, channel 2 set temperature, and channel 3 set temperature, okay? There's also this P1 and P4 that you see on channel 2 and channel 3. That means preset 1, which is set to 600 degrees Fahrenheit, and also preset number 4, which is set to 750 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? And then channel 1, currently I'm not using a preset, okay? So, say I want to change a temperature on one of the channels. How do you do that? It's real easy. First of all, since there's 3 different channels, you just want to make sure you're working on the correct channel that you want to make edits to, okay? So you can do that by hitting one of these buttons. So for example, say I want to change my channel 2 temperature from 600 to 660, okay? So right now the edit bar, this bar right here, we call that the edit bar, is on channel 1. You want to make sure I get to channel 2, because that's the channel that I want to make edits to, right? So I press that one time, you see the edit bar move to channel 2. And from here, the first way I'm going to show you is to use the temp button, right? I hit the temp button, the temperature icon shows up here, and your set temperature begins to flash. From here, you can use a combination of the up and down buttons and make changes to your temperature. So 660, right? 600 to 660. So 6, hit enter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hit enter, and enter again. And there you go. I just changed my temperature from 600 to 660. Now there's another faster alternative way that you can make changes to your set temperature, and that is to use the preset function, all right? So let's go ahead and use the preset function to make changes to channel 3, shall we? So make sure the edit bar, if I want to make changes to channel 3, hit that button, channel 3 button one time. Make sure the edit bar goes to channel 3. And then let's use the preset function. Let's say I want to go from 750 to 800. Hit the preset button, P4 starts to flash. I already have that 800 degrees programmed into as preset number 5, and I just hit enter. There you go. Real easy, real fast, a faster and easier way to make changes to your set temperature. I like to use the preset function as long as the correct temperatures are already pre-programmed into preset 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That preset function is a really fast and easy way to make changes to the temperature settings, right? And I'll show you a little bit later how to make changes to your preset temperatures and how to turn on or off each of the presets as well. I'll show you that a little bit later on, all right? That was how to change the temperature right off the bat, right? And I also showed you how to use the preset. The next button is the offset button, and I'll show you how we can use this offset feature. Now the offset feature, what that will allow you to do is offset or adjust your tip temperature if you find that your set temperature varies from your measured temperature. In this case, you would need to use a tip thermometer, either one of our accessories such as the FG100B or the FG101B. For today's demonstration, I have the FG100B, so that's what I'll be using right now. And on the station, I have a medium iron, which is our standard iron, plugged into channel 2. So that's set at 740 degrees Fahrenheit. My regular standard soldering iron, 740 degrees in channel 2. So before you do this, you just want to make sure you're entering the offset into the correct channel, right? So the way you do that is you want to make sure this edit bar, again, is on the correct channel. So I want to use the standard iron, which is in channel 2. So I hit the channel 2, move the edit bar to channel 2. And then now I am going to take a measurement. So let me get my standard soldering iron, turn on the FG100B that I have. Right now, my tip thermometer is sensing that it's 72, 73 degrees Fahrenheit. That's my room temperature in this room right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn on this auto function, which when I'm measuring, right now it's flashing auto, as you can see there. But while I'm measuring, I'm gonna wait till that auto changes from a flashing auto to like a solid auto. That'll give me the stabilized temperature, okay? That's what I'm gonna go ahead and do now. Okay, so let me put some solder on the iron. So that's what I meant, the auto. It's now not a flashing, it's a solid. That gave me the stabilized temperature of my iron, which was set to 740. The measured temperature is 748. It's plus or minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Already good enough for me. So there's really no adjustment that I really need to do at this point. If you do measure it and if you do find that the temperature is outside of the tolerance, what you can do is hit the offset button and then send that information. The station will automatically adjust the temperature for you. Let me try see if the micro iron will give me any kind of different measurement. So again, what you want to do, the micro iron is set on channel 3, right? So right now the edit bar is on channel 2, so I want to move that over to channel 3. So the way you do that is I just hit the bar, illuminated blue, right, for channel 3, move the edit bar over to channel 3 like that. Set temperature is 660 for my micro iron, remember that. Now, using the same FG100B, now I have the micro iron set to 660, room temperature 74. I'm going to turn on that auto measurement function again. And I'll take another measurement and see where we're at. Okay, so that once the tape temperature stabilizes, again, that auto will go from a flashing auto to a solid auto, and my measured temperature is 663 Fahrenheit. In comparison to my set temperature is 660. So again, our tips are completely fine. There's really no need for adjustments at this point, but let me just show you how to do the offset. When you measure, you find that your measured temperatures are outside of the range, above or below. This is how you do it. Again, you go into the proper channel that you took the measurement on. In this case, channel 3, 660. And then you press this offset button here. Once you press that offset button, you'll see an icon appear. It's like a plus or minus tolerance icon. And then it says I have an offset of minus 0.9 already in here. That was the previous offset that was input in there. Now I'm gonna take my thermometer. There's a send button on my thermometer. There's a sender. at the top of my FG100B, there's also a receiver, IR receiver on the station here. I'm gonna point the FG100B to the station and just hit that send button. And then there you go. The temperature, I just offset my temperature. If I take a look, it was -9 before, now I read in, now it's -12, right? So that's how you make use of the offset feature on our HAKKO FX-973 3-port rework station. You can also find this feature on our other stations like the 971, 972, and FX305. All of our newer generations have this feature, and you can send that information as long as you have our newer thermometers as well. All right, so we just went over the temperature, the preset, and I just showed you how to do the offset, how to make use of the offset feature. The last button that you see on the 973 is the sleep button. Guess what that button does? If you press it, you can force your handpieces to go into sleep, right? So channel 2, sleep, 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 right? If you want to wake it back up, you can press that sleep button, or you can simply pick the iron back up and then it'll wake itself up, okay? Yeah, so that's what that last button, the sleep button, does, okay? On the face of the screen, there's also this USB connection port here. That is to connect the station to your PC or tablet when you want to use the HAKKO control software. And this IR port, that's when I just showed you here a few minutes ago how to use the offset feature. That's the receiving end of the IR. And there's also the clogging indicator for our desoldering handpieces, right? The desoldering handpieces, as you're using them, our desoldering handpieces, our desoldering stations, they work great, but we all know with any kind of desoldering tool, there is maintenance required. There's no way around that. As long as you perform the maintenance on our desoldering handpieces, our desoldering tools work fantastic, all right? But let me show you how the clogging indicator works. So take a look on the face of the 973, pay attention to this where it says clogging indicator, and I want you to pay attention on the display here, all right? So normally when there's no clogging going on, when I pull the trigger, right, there's that blue indicator light. But when there is clogging going on, let me show you what happens. You see that? There was that red bar that shot across the main clogging indicator, and there was that icon, like that wrench icon that showed up on the display. Again, I'll do that again so you guys can see. See that? So that just shows you that, hey, the station is seeing that there's clogging going on with your desoldering handpieces. So please do some maintenance on your nozzles and your handpieces, all right? Like I said, with desoldering tools, maintenance is a must. It's a key. It's one of the most important things you have to do with the desoldering tools. As long as you do the maintenance on our desoldering tools work fantastic. Now, what we've done, HAKKO, is we made it easier, a whole lot easier for you guys to do the maintenance on your desoldering tools. One way we did that is to give you visual indicators like the clogging indicator or the icon that pops up on the display to show you when you need to perform the maintenance on your desoldering handpieces. We've also added in things like the clear solder collection chamber. You can also see by looking in there how much solder is being accumulated in your handpieces. And not only that, we've also included a maintenance kit with every one of our FX-973s and our FR410s. And within the maintenance kits, you'll get one cleaning drill, one cleaning pin, a heater cleaning pin, and a nozzle wrench. All right? Now, using these tools, you want to do the maintenance on your desoldering handpiece, obviously. So here I'll just show you really quickly the basics of how to perform the maintenance on your desoldering tool. So I have my 4103. I get my cleaning drill. And first what you want to do is take the drill and empty out any kind of debris that may be stuck in the nozzle opening. All right? Once you do that, you want to take your cleaning pin and clear out the remaining passageway of the nozzle, right? So right now, up until this point, I'm just clearing out any kind of debris that's stuck inside the nozzle, okay? Once you use the cleaning pin, drill and the cleaning pin, next thing is you want to take the nozzle wrench that is included in our maintenance kit, twist and remove, and now you've removed the nozzles, right? This is another very important feature that we've added into all of our desoldering handpieces, is that quick 1-2 action when you're removing the nozzle, because a lot of times people don't remove the nozzle or didn't do the maintenance because it's a lot cumbersome with other desoldering handpieces and stations. A lot of the other stations, desoldering stations or handpieces, the nozzles are attached and you have to loosen the enclosure nut, right? Or sometimes they're attached with a threaded screw, so you got to loosen up the screw and unthread the screws. Not with HAKKO. With HAKKO desoldering stations, again, you have the nozzle attached to the heater. You use our nozzle wrench, insert, boom, boom, bada bing, bada boom, you've removed the nozzle. And from here, all you have to do is get the heater core pin, and this is what you use to clear out the heater core, any kind of debris that may be stuck in the heater core. Once you're done doing that, last visual check, you could take a look through the heater core, and if you can see the other end, then you're good to go, right? Press the trigger, make sure everything passes through, and at that point, put the nozzle back on, wait for the nozzle to heat back up, and you're ready to go. That's the basics of how to do the maintenance on our HAKKO desoldering tools. Again, we made it a whole lot easier. We call that the quick change mechanism on our desoldering tools. With the quick change mechanism, we made it a whole lot easier to perform when you need to perform the maintenance on your desoldering tools. Because like I said, we all know the key thing for desoldering tools is to do the maintenance on your desoldering stations, right? Otherwise, 140 watts of power delivers great performance on any kind of through-hole desoldering needs, okay? So, we talked about the clogging indicator, we talked about the 973, how to change the temperature, how to use the preset function, how to use a sleep button, how to use the offset feature. So that covers how to turn on and off each of the channels, right? So we covered, those are the basics of how to use the FX-973. And with that, you can get started right away, all right? What I'm going to be talking about next is the system parameters, a lot of the menus that you will have access to within the system parameters. So let's get into that next. To get into the system parameters, first thing is to turn the power off while pressing the up button, right? Press and hold the up button and then turn the station on. And now you are into what we call system parameters, okay? You'll see this like menu icon show up on the upper left-hand side of the display. And in the system parameters, you have now access to different menus. For example, the first one you see here is the temp unit. If you hit enter and go into that one, you can change the units of temperature, for example, between Fahrenheit and Celsius, right? Right now I want to keep using Fahrenheit, so I hit enter, and then you're back in the main parameter setting menu. And then as you scroll down, you can set your preset temperatures, you can turn on or off your presets, You could turn on or off your auto shutoffs, the auto shutoff times, the vacuum modes, the vacuum times, sleep on or off, sleep times, sleep activation times, low temperature alarms, error alarms, ready alarms, auto channel switching, password lockouts, contrast, and initial reset. You have access to all of those menus within the system parameters. Again, let me just point out and tell everyone that you have access to and you can make changes to all of these system parameters a lot easier, a lot faster by using the HAKKO control software. Maybe I'll go over a couple of the system parameter menus without using the HAKKO control software, just show everyone that you can do everything with the station itself, all right? So let me just go over and make changes to the preset temperature and the preset available, right? Just as an example. So I go down and highlight preset temperature, hit enter. This is like your enter button. And then now on channel 1, I'm now working on channel 1, right? It says P1 set. If I hit that and go enter, now the system parameters is allowing me to change the programmed temperature for parameter 1 on channel 1, all right? So say I want to change preset 1 temperature, which is currently programmed to 660. Say I want to change that to 600, right? I just go in here, up and down button and the enter button, right? Again, make the changes, enter and enter. I just made changes from 660 to 600 on preset 1 on channel 1. Now I can scroll through and see the other preset temperatures that I have programmed into channel 1. So preset 2 is set to 700, preset 3, 750, preset 4, 800, preset 5, 850. Okay, if I'm okay with those numbers, I keep scrolling up and then it'll move to channel 2, preset 1, preset 2, preset 3. If I want to make changes to preset 3 temperature, again, what do? I hit enter. It'll allow me to enter into preset 3 on channel 2. And from here, say I want to go from 740 to 750, I go enter one time, change that from a 4 to 5, hit enter again. And I just made change to preset 3 temperature from 740 to 750. Let's check out preset 4 temperature, 800, 850. If I'm okay, I move up. If I ever want to go back to channel 2, then guess what I do? I hit the down button and it'll allow me to go to channel 2. After preset 5, if I want to move forward, I hit up and it'll move forward, right? So channel 3, preset 1 is 550, 2 is 550 also, 3 is 700, 4 is 750, 5 is 800. So I have, let's go back. Preset 2 and 1 are the same, doesn't really make sense. So I'm just gonna go ahead and enter here 660, all right? So that's how you make changes to your programmed preset temperature in each of the 3 channels, channel 1, channel 2, and channel 3. And if I get to channel 5 and if I keep pressing up, it's gonna go back to channel 1. So how do I get out of here? Simple, just press this back button and then it'll bring you back to the main menu within your system parameters, okay? So we just went over how to change the preset temperatures. Let's just do one more. Go down one and preset available, hit enter. And what you can access now or make changes to now is on each of the presets, you can turn on or off each of the presets in each channel, all right? So preset 1, if I want to keep that on, leave that on. 2, 700, keep that on. If I only want to use preset 1 and 2 for channel 1, then I can, and turn 3, 4, and 5 off on channel 1, Then I just go in here, hit enter, go into preset 3, off, enter, go to 4, right now it's on, go in there, turn that off, go to preset 5, hit enter, and turn that off as well. Now, when I want to move on to channel 2, what do I do? Again, hit up. And then for channel 2, I have preset 1, 600, 2, 700 is on, 3, 750 is on, 4, 800 is on, and 5, 850 is on. So let's just say I want to turn preset 5 off. I go in there, turn that one off. All right, move on to channel 3. There you go. Channel 3, say I only want to use preset 1. Then what do? Leave that one on. I go into 2, turn that one off. Go to 3, go in there, turn that one off. Turn that one off as well. And turn number 5 off as well, okay? So if I press up one more time, it's gonna scroll back. So how do I get back out into the main menu of my system parameters? I hit the back button one time, and it'll bring me back to the main menu within the system parameters. So that's how you would go through and make changes to your setting if you need to. For other settings like auto shut off time, vacuum modes, sleep times, temperature alarms, and all that good stuff. Let me just go in here and vacuum mode. Vacuum mode, let me just explain a little bit about this. Right now it's on timer. I go in here, you get to select between timer and normal. I'm gonna change that back to normal. And what that means is normal is every press and release of the trigger of my desoldering tool, the vacuum is gonna turn on and off. So every time I pull the trigger, it's gonna turn on. Once I release the trigger, it's gonna turn off. If I go in here and use timer and put in a timer, whether that's 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, or up to 5 seconds in the menu that says vacuum time, then what that's gonna do is after I release the trigger, right now 2 seconds after I release the trigger, the vacuum will still keep going on, all right? So for our desoldering tools, again, you get to select between timer mode and normal mode, okay? And then again, you can turn on or off each of the ready alarms. You can put in password lockouts and change the contrast on your display. You can do initial reset, all within the system parameters. Once you're done making changes to your setting, all you have to do is press this back button one more time, and you're back to the main screen on the FX-973.
Join us next month for the final part of this series where we go over the HAKKO control software for the FX-973. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.